I got involved after talking with Savvy. I was very excited to try it, and I was also not 100% thinking this little Band-Aid would do much. But I had it on for about 4 days, and I was all of September doing a cleanse. And so I was feeling great. But my energy after the first couple of days was through the roof, amazing. But I was always thinking it was just the detox cleanse I was doing for the month of September. I just finished 11 days juice fasting, had 7 colonics under my belt, and daily saunas, and doing everything I teach my clients and give to my clients. So when I was on day 4, I was cutting a watermelon, and I cut it in half, and then cutting through the half of it into slices to juice it. It's the knife, which is very sharp. My husband's a great sharpener, just slipped into the finger holding it. So the top of my index finger knuckle, luckily that's not my main, main hand, but basically it cut so deep across that knuckle diagonally, and I probably could have seen bone if there wasn't so much blood. Right. But it was the most pain after childbirth. It was so much pain that I went upstairs to my husband, wrapped it with a paper towel, and wanted some help from him, but he was in the shower and said, "You look like you're going to faint, go lay down." Right. I really felt like I was in shock.
Right.
So I laid down for about an hour, just had a whole thing of paper towels holding it and praying and putting light energy into my finger. And after about an hour, I felt less nauseous, and went downstairs and saw this on my desk and thought, I'm going to call Savvy and see if this would help, because I thought maybe I'd have to go to the doctor and get stitches. It was that bad. And put the patch where he recommended here. And then I put the other one under my belly button, as we always, put either there or there, but I put 2 on. And within about a minute and a half, maybe 2 minutes, the pain just like went away. I mean, it was still a little achy, but I had 4 clients that day, and I had about a ball of tape wrapped around my finger to keep it from bending, and worked with my clients that day. Just a little bit, whenever I'd hit it, did I feel that zing. Yep. So later that night, I didn't shower because I didn't want to take the ball of tape off. The next morning I showered, and I had to take the tape off, of course, because it got wet. And because it's right on the top of that bend, it started opening up and bleeding again. And I had to press on it, and the pain was this surging, hot, piercing pain. Went downstairs right away and put the patch here. And I noticed a shift of the pain just within probably 30, 40 seconds.
Wow.
On. Yeah. And then I put another one on my back. So 2 days in a row, I did 2 patches. Within 7 days, I had just a simple little Band-Aid on to keep me from banging it. But I worked with clients that whole week, and it just was like a scratch. But whenever I'd bang it, I think the nerves were cut.
Yeah.
So because I was unable to do this other testimony I had a basal cell cancer on the tip of my nose in March of 2019. I had 38 stitches because she had to go so deep, basically a hole in the tip of my nose, and then take skin from either side and wrap it around. And 38 stitches later, right. My nose was reconstructed. And about a month after that, I was able to finally see my face, not all bruised and everything. And my left nostril had cartilage inside of it that was blocking my opening, basically about 90% blocked.
Right.
And the dermatologist said, take your thumb in there and your finger and squeeze and massage. So about a year of doing that, I was pretty diligent. It never changed. I couldn't do it, right? Because my finger was cut. So about a week and a half of not doing it, finally my finger's feeling good enough to, do that. And I'm laying there at 4 or 5 in the morning, because now I'm waking up at, 4 or 5 in the morning, wide awake. I mean, every day since I've had the patch on. I love it because I'm able to meditate and pray longer. So anyway, I'm doing this, and I'm thinking, wait, that little ball of cartilage scar tissue was about 70% gone. I kid you not, because I wasn't able to do the massage. And now it's 3 months later, and it's probably 95% gone. There's just a little bit of a bump in there. So that's my second.
Okay, so that's what I wanted to say real quick with you. So it's only been about 3 months, right?
September 17th is when I started.
So before we go to the third one, the finger, after really about a week to 10 days, I remember seeing it, and the scar was already starting to be reduced.
Oh yeah.
Right. So we know that GHK copper peptides, right, are like boost collagen, which is like the glue. You see the proof of that in the finger.
Right.
Same with the nose, because it also reduces scar tissue. And I can't imagine you can't breathe properly with that scar tissue in there, right?
Right. If I lift my nose before the patches started, you could see the difference in my nostril holes. Like this was blocked, like it was like weird looking, and now it's, you know, a little blocked, but it's amazing. I'm so happy.
And 38 stitches.
38 stitches, but I don't know if you guys could see my face in this little picture, but I had last year I had my nose, I had basal cell cancers, one under my nose, and that scar is basically gone, and then one here. And then 4 years ago, one here, and they, you know, my skin heals pretty quick because I'm so healthy, right? I detox and I eat organically and I eat very well. So that's another thing. It's not just detoxification, it's what we put in our mouth after you or during the
correct.
Yes, nutrition.
And you keep your GI tract squeaky clean. Okay,
right.
So we have a third one where you had sort of an accident, right? Like a fall?
Yeah, so I know God was giving me these experiences so that I knew this was working, because I was questioning it still, right? Thinking, well, I was on this cleanse, but you know, this nose thing, I know it's no way, this is gone, you know, this is the patch. So I'm at my little cabin in McCall, and it has a stairway that's kind of like a ladder, but it's a stairway, so it's very steep. And at 2 in the morning, I had to go to the bathroom. So I'm going down this stairway, and my husband has put little rungs, and I'm such a deep sleeper before the patch, but now it's like I'm, you know, turn off the light, I am gone. I don't even remember falling asleep. And then I wake up at 4 or 5 in the morning and I feel great all day, energy wise. But anyway, I'm going down this step, and my last rung that I'm holding on to, I'm sleepwalking, I guess, because I thought I was on the last step. So 2 feet, I mean, it's like steep stairs. So I went into the air. This arm was pulled and this whole neck was pulled because I was holding on the rung, but I was letting go too. So I kind of pulled everything, and then I landed on my knee, and I went to the bathroom and thought I'm in shock again. I felt like I was going to faint and puke at the same time. So I went back to bed, and the next day I put a patch on, and I went on a hike and took a lot of my other supplements, turmeric and recovery, which is molecular hydrogen. And I felt pretty good on the hike. And then the day after, though, the second day, I could hardly move on the hike. Like I was just unable to turn my head. And the acupuncturist who actually joined, my first person I talked to, and she's like, sign me up, I want this. And she's the best acupuncturist in McCall, Rachel Smith. Yeah. You ever go to McCall. So she had an opening, just a cancellation out of the blue. So she said, come in. So she put the needles all over the pain points. And the next day, so the third day, I didn't even feel like I had any pain whatsoever. I could turn my head, and I was hiking again. It was, I mean, unbelievable, really. You know, I'm 53. So that was incredible.
So, you know, so there we go again with soft tissue inflammation. Yeah. With the patch. So all the things that we hear over and over again, you mentioned energy, waking up at 4:30 in the morning. That's what happens to me. You've got the collagen repair with scar tissue reduction, soft tissue inflammation, right? So you have all of that. Now, on top of that, you have your practice. Now, you already mentioned Rachel, who's an acupuncturist, right? Yeah. But you have a lot of other people that you've been sharing this with, and we're getting a lot of good feedback across the board, as in Debbie G, right? She's one. Oh, yes. She has breast, the letter C after breast, and she had an oozing sore. And she is, when she first came to me, I'd seen her before. She'd been a friend, client for a while. And she came in and she looked all puffy and inflamed. And she got on the patches, and she's a different woman. And she's actually seeing a chiropractor who is going to join us as well, because she's seeing the difference in this woman, Debbie. Yeah. And then I've had just, oh gosh, so many people. I had a yeah, Shunri. Oh, that's a great story. So I went to my birthday was September 10th. That's the day I actually talked to Savvy, and
I had a facial with my facialist 2 days before my birthday. It's my annual facial. And she, seen my face a couple of times. And then I thought, well, I need to go back and get a facial about a month and a half later, even though I usually don't go that soon. I said, I have something I want to tell you about. It's all about stem cells. And she sells her own line, which is beautiful, Shun Li. It's stem cell apple pectin, or apple stem cell tincture, or
yeah. So it's peptides. So she's using apple peptides topically, right?
Yeah. So she knows about stem cells. She's very very knowledgeable. And so when I went in, I said, I really need to talk to you. And so she was doing the facial. It's usually an hour-long facial. And she said, Juliana, your skin looks amazing, and I need to hear about what you want to tell me, because if this is what your face is after a month and a half, she hadn't seen me, I want to hear about it. So she cut my facial for 15 minutes short, which was a bummer, but I was happy to talk to her. You get your product cheaper, and you get a lot to share and sell, and get your business started if you're doing it as a business. But even not as a business, you get it at a cheaper price point. So that's great.
Yeah, and you're helping so many people. And that's what I love about what your story is. You have your own story, but then you're helping so many other people too, right?
Oh,
So
gosh,
and it's not just the patch with you. I mean, it's the whole. I mean, this woman lives and breathes wellness, like a lot of us here do. I mean, that's what we love, is wellness. The patch is just the next level, right?
It is.
So,
It's like another tool in my toolkit. And, first and foremost is detoxification, because if you're full of crap, literally and figuratively,
yes,
you're not going to heal very quickly. So
that's
I
right.
think, my finger healed really quickly because of my health. And the acupuncturist had seen me before I had the patches. And then I went to her, and she was basically like, wow, you had no inflammation in your body. She goes, one out of many, many thousands of clients she's seen, you're like basically inflammation free. And then I fell down the steps, and she got to be seeing me with all this inflammation. And it was just like night and day. After the needles kind of brought that attention of my body, let's go heal this area. I think that's really, it went hand in hand. So